Hello everyone, welcome to my video and today we are going to learn about perceptual illusions and its causes. As you can see in figure, there is blue background and green leaf shaped. This is just a 2D figure, but what it is happening here, a illusion is created. We feel like these leaves are moving. So today we are going to understand what is perceptual illusion and why it happens or what are its causes. Let's just start the video. So as you can see in this image as well, it feels like this image is moving. Why it is happening? Because of the illusion created. Perception or perceptual illusion occurs when our brain misinterprets sensory information, leading us to perceive something that doesn't match physical reality. As you can see in previous figure that there was blue background and there were leaf-shaped figure, but we felt like it is moving. Why it is happening? Because our brain is misinterpreting the sensory information and leading us to perceive something that doesn't match our physical reality. So, while we often think of optical illusions like sight, perceptual illusions can actually affect all of our five senses. They are not mistakes in traditional sense, rather, they are the result of our brain using shortcuts or past experience to make sense of incomplete or ambiguous data. As we have also learned in perceptual organization that our brain tries to understand things in simple manner, though it is complex data. So perceptual illusion happens not just because we are misinterpreting sensory information, but also because it doesn't match with the physical reality. So how this works, why our brain uses shortcut method. So our brain is like supercomputer and it has to be slow. What it does, it processes every single pixel of light or vibration of sound from the scratch and makes some educated guesses. So how it works on context, expectation and constancy. Context in a sense, what is surrounding the object, why the moon looks bigger somewhere and why the moon looks smaller somewhere. It is because of the context, it is because of the surrounding, it is because of the reference point we are taking to look object as small or big. Expectation. So what do I expect to see based on past experience? What kind of past experience do I have? What I have experimented in life. So, because of that basis, my expectation comes while perceiving something. And next is constancy, and this is the assumption that objects may stay the same size or color even when the light changes. So illusions are not errors in the saying that our eyes or ears are broken. Instead, they are the result of our brain trying to be efficient. Because the world is too complex to process every single detail in real time, our brain uses shortcuts based on physics, biology, and past experience. As I said, it applies context, expectation, and how the surrounding works. So when those circles does not match or don't match the specific situation, an illusion occurs. So what are the causes of perceptual illusions? Why it happens? So there are three causes mainly. So they are physical or literal causes, and next is physiological causes, and the third one is cognitive causes. Let us know them detailedly. Physical causes. So sometimes the trick happens before the information even reaches our brain or our body. So it is usually due to the way light or sound waves behave in the environment. So number one can be the refraction. Look at this image. You can see that a straw is kept in a glass of water. So what is happening here? The light it bends when it moves from one medium to other medium. So while talking about the medium, there are two types of medium. One is air and next is water. So when it moves from one medium to other medium, like air to water, what happens? Light bends, because of which we see as a straw in a glass looks broken, but actually it's not broken. What is happening here? Because of light, it feels like the straw is broken, but actually it's not broken. The light bends when it moves from one medium to other medium. So in mirages as well, hot air near the ground bends the light from the sky, making look like there is water on a dry road. Actually, this is the dry road. But if you see from here, you feel like it's wet, right? It feels like the road is wet. Why it is happening? Because of the hot air near the ground, it bends light from the sky, making it look like there is water on a dry road. So first cause was physical cause. Now next one is physiological cause. Please look at this image. What happens to you? So when you look at this image, in this white picture, you feel like there is the gray cast. So why is that happening? Why are you able to see that gray spots? So this happens because of our way our biological hardware, eyes, ears, and nerves is built. It is because of the lateral inhibition. So what is lateral inhibition? Our eyes are designed to highlight edges to help us see the shapes. So we look at the edges when we want to form the image. Now, what happens? The neurons detect the light, actually turn down the volume of neurons next to them. So these things get intersect. So in the Harman grid, this creates coarse like gray spots where the white line intersects. So wherever this white line has been intersect, in that place you will see the gray spot. So this is the lateral inhibition. So in physiological cause, other is neural adaptation. So if you stare at a bright color for too long, the receptors in our eyes get tired, fatigued. So when we look away, we see the after image of the opposite color because those tired neurons are temporarily underperforming. So to prove this, you can see this figure for a while. You just see this figure for a while and shift it in this white paper. Now look at the what happens. You feel like that image is perceived over here and you see a gall face. So to understand better about this neural adaptation, you can also see the video that is opponent process theory, which is already uploaded in this channel to better understand about the neural adaptation or about the after images. Third cause is cognitive cause, that is brain processing. It is the most common cause. Our brain uses top-down processing, meaning it uses what it already knows about the world to fill in the blanks of what it sees. So if I draw here some dotted line, let me draw. So how I perceive this line? I perceive it as the triangle, but still here is gap, right? Why our brain is doing that? Because it is filling those blanks and making me see the united whole. So perceptual constancy, our brain assumes objects stay the same regardless of the distance. Let's talk about the Ponzo illusion, which was discovered by the Louis. Ponzo illusion. Let us know about this Ponzo illusion, which was discovered by Ponzo. So what happens here? When this When we move in a railway track, what happens? It feels like conversing because we see structure like this, right? But if we talk about the length, this vertical and this horizontal, these both line are equal. But when we look here, if we try to measure its line, railway track line, this horizontal line, And if we try to measure here, it feels like it is smaller and it is bigger. Why it is happening? Why it is happening? Because of the Ponzo illusion. It is happening because of the Ponzo illusion. Actually, these both lines are equal. They are equal, but because we see in this perspective of conversing, which is narrowing down, we see it as the conversing which is narrowing down. So because of that, it feels like this is longer and this is the shorter. So, but both are equal. So our brain assume objects stay the same size regardless of distance. Actually, both are equal, but our brain sees converging lines as a road going into the distance, then it stretches the object in the back because it assumes that if it looks that big while being far away, it must be huge. But that is not the case. Next is context and contrast in cognitive cause. So, if you see this image, this circle is equal, but here it feels like this is smaller, but here it feels like a bigger. So, our brain doesn't judge things in isolation, it judges them related to what is nearby. In Ebbinghaus illusion, a circle looks smaller while surrounded by giant circles and larger when surrounded by the tiny ones. So, in cognitive causes, next is expectation. If we expect to taste a certain flavor based on the color of drink, our brain may actually create that taste for us, even if the flavor is not there. Suppose if I am drinking this red like color water or wine, and if I want to feel the taste of berry, that flavor is illusionarily created in my taste bud. So, this is the expectation created by the cognitive causes for the illusion. Thank you so much for references. You can go through this book. If you like this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel.